This video will walk through the process of using Doctopus, which is a Google add-on that allows teachers to share content with students very effectively in Google Drive. With the Goobric feature, they can also attach a rubric, and grading is made much more easier for the teacher. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is create a blank spreadsheet, and then I'm going to go to add-ons. You're going to actually have to get the Doctopus add-on. You'll see that I already have it here. So you're going to go ahead and accept conditions for that, and then click Launch. Notice that the first step is to select a roster. So right now I'm going to go ahead and build a new roster. Okay, and you can actually import this, but I'm going to go ahead and do that on this sheet. So you probably have a list of your students that you can get from Gradebook that you can actually paste in here, but I went ahead and just manually added 2 students. I'm going to choose Refresh. And now I'm going to go ahead and give this roster a name, so it's going to be Doctopus Example. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create and share folders, and so this is going to go ahead and set up folders for all of the students on my roster. Okay, and that may take some time just depending on the number of students you have. Notice it didn't recognize Sandra Bullock's email because that is not a correct email address. So it will kind of default and show you if the email address is incorrect. So I'm going to save roster and continue. You give it some time to go ahead and take through the process, but once your class is set up, then you'll actually save time in the long run. So right now for the sharing type, this explains the different types. I'm going to choose to share individually with all the students the same way. Okay. I want students to only access their own documents, so I'm going to put no access here. I'm going to allow them to edit and then save and continue. The next step is to choose where you want the assignment templates to be held. So I'm going to choose the Teacher Doctopus Example folder. You can choose which folder you want to use here. Okay. And notice that when I go back to my drive and into this, so I have the Doctopus folder set up and I go into the Teacher Doctopus Example, I actually put an SAT persuasive essay prompt because that's actually the assignment template that I'm going to share. So then looking back at my Doctopus setup here, I'm going to choose the file or folder. And so I'm going to actually choose that SAT essay and save and continue. Okay, there are a few more steps. First, you're going to choose the assignment folder. So I'm going to leave the default here. Then you can actually choose how you want the students to name the assignments because it will name it for them. So I'm going to choose last name, first name. This is nice as a teacher to be able to go back and find the exact student's assignments. And then you can choose whether you want to share notifications with your students. I'm going to choose that existing folder. And then it wants me to select the folder that I want to contain student files. So I'm actually going to use Doctopus Example for Students. And I'm going to select that folder. Okay. Once I'm finished, I'm going to go to Save and Continue. Notice now it's time to copy and share the resources for students. So this was added after my setup. And then you can just double check all of your choices here and then run copy and share. And this, like I said, this might take a few seconds, so you might want to set this up at a time where you can let it run through. Okay, notice that all jobs are completed here. This will be the link to the student's assignment. So the great thing about this is that I do not have to wait for students to turn in work. When it's time to grade, I can simply go in and see the work that they have done and grade it as is. And then I'm going to manage and assess this assignment. So this is Doctopus in itself, just delivering content and being able to easily access student links. The feature that I love most is the Goobric feature. So I'm going to actually attach a Goobric, which is a rubric. Okay, and notice that I already have a few examples here. So I'm actually going to use an expository writing rubric. So you'll go ahead and attach a rubric that you have. There are certain criteria it has to meet. It has to be several rows, but most of your standard essay rubrics are going to match this criteria. Okay, notice also at any time if you need to go in and change the rubric, you can do that. And you can actually use one of their existing, if you go to libraries, You can look at some of the existing rubrics that there are, or you can go from My Drive. All right, once the rubric is uploaded, then it's time to grade. So when it comes time to grade these assignments, I'm just going to choose the little Goobric icon up here at the top. If it's your first time running Goobric, you will have to verify your account and allow the permissions. Once I click that little Goobric eye, it's going to bring up the first student's work and then also the rubric. Okay, so this is the first student. This should be all of the work that they've done. So just like normal, you can go in as you're reading this work and you can add comments, grade everything that they have done in their essay. And then you can very easily go and fill out the points that they got. And you can set up your own point system. Notice that I only have 2 criteria here. You'll probably have more than that. And then you can also go in and add comments. One feature that's really nice as well is that you can add voice comments. So I'll add a voice comment as well. Great job on this essay. Make sure that you look at your conventions. Okay, and choose whether yes, you want to use that or no, you want to trash. So I'm going to say yes. Notice that you don't have to use voice comments or text comments, but I'm just showing some of the features here. And I'll go to submit. Okay. When you click on next, it's going to take you to the next student, which should be our Sandra Bullock student. And now her essay pulls up and I can go through and grade this one. And you can choose whether you want them to email the scores or not. Okay, and I want us to go back now to the example roster here. See that I didn't leave written feedback, but it did show what they got in each part of the rubric, and it shows the comment here. I'll show you what it looks like in the student view. Notice that I sent my student work. We're setting up Doctopus to the students folder. So here I go and I can pull up every student's work. So I go to this student's work. It actually attaches the rubric at the bottom. It gives the comments and it says I have a new audio comment. So if I click here, it's going to let me listen to the teacher's audio comment on my work. So not only is this a quick way to go through and grade, but it also gives the students a lot of feedback. Great job on this essay. Great. Okay, so this is Doctopus and Goobric, several steps, but very effective once you get it set up, especially for doing essay grading.